Hey, everybody, welcome to For the Record, the podcast, where we'll be choosing one record to dive into, one album each week to review and a breakdown track by track. I'm Chris Rosamundo with my great friend Thomas Ryan, and this is For the Record, episode 1. What's up, Tom?
Hey Chris, what's happening, dude?
Things are good. Things are good.
I'm super psyched for today's for today's podcast because we are doing drum roll.
What do
We
you
are
got?
doing the Queen is Dead by the great Smiths. They are This is one of my favorite albums of all time. Unbelievable. I've loved it since I was in sixth grade, and I'm so glad we get to talk about it today.
And this is new for me, so.
This is new for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that was one of the reasons for doing this, right? Or
definitely.
one of the byproducts would be that we would
I'd say it's one of the benefits.
share new music with each other, and then hopefully with the listeners and that kind of
Absolutely.
thing.
All right.
So what do you got on the Smiths, Tom?
What do I have on the Smith? Obviously, the frontman Morrissey is just legendary.
He's famous in his own right.
He's famous in his own right. That's a great way to put it. He's got an unbelievable solo career after the Smiths, but they got together in '82 in Manchester, and it was Morrissey, frontman. You had guitarist Johnny Marr, who definitely doesn't get enough love. Bassist Andy Rourke, echo that sentiment with him, and also drummer Mike Joyce.
Okay.
And they are one of the most critically acclaimed bands that no one's heard of. They've been hyped for decades as being super influential, and clearly they were. But like I said, Manchester is where they kind of got together.
Now I know we would, when we talk about the Smiths, when we talk about doing the Smiths, I would just categorize them as an '80s band, right? But what genre what genre would you throw them in terms
Yeah,
of
I would never throw them in the same category as somebody like Wham or another
right.
but they were one of the first like
New wave,
real
like
indie rock, new wave,
right? Okay.
alt rock.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were around. They kind of got overshadowed by U2, who was kind of blowing up around then, and other bands, the Police, and other kind of like
and two
alt
great
rock
bands.
bands.
The Police,
Yeah, absolutely.
The Police are one of my favorite bands of all time.
Oh, they're fantastic.
And I know we wouldn't say they're an '80s band, but they definitely influenced other '80s bands. You know what I mean?
Oh, '80s and beyond. You hear it today.
Mm-hmm.
You can hear so many bands that just have it. There's a band called The National, and I'm sure you're familiar with The National.
I know. Yep. Mm-hmm.
It just comes through loud and clear in bands like that, like your indie rock out of Brooklyn. Like those guys love the Smiths. It's just a huge influence. But you have bands like 311, who you would never, that's not even the same type of band, but that those guys cite the Smiths as an influence.
But you know what? And now that you say that, listening to this record, I can definitely hear what 311 kind of took from them, or
no doubt,
got from their music, and put it in theirs. Because I don't know, I don't know if I can explain it, right off the bat, but I can definitely sense a little similarity
in their more melancholy stuff.
Yes,
that's where you're going to hear it. Yeah. All right, so let's dive into this here.
Yeah.
Unbelievable band. I would recommend their entire catalog, but we are going to talk about The Queen is Dead.
The title track?
Title track opens it up. This is actually their third record. And you had Meat is Murder before this, which is just the greatest title ever.
So he was a vegan before, way back.
Yeah, right? Yeah, he's a huge advocate. And, I kind of overshadowed that a little bit. I did say he was prolific, but he's an activist as well, non-music related
Right.
Beliefs and stuff. So, I mean,
so wait, the record was called "Meat Is for Murder" or "Meat Is Murder."
Meat is Murder. Yeah. And,
now, would you think it was more controversial than John Joseph's book title? John Joseph from the Cro-Mags.
Yeah, Meat is for Pussies.
Meat is for Pussies.
I mean, I guess he's saying the same thing.
Basically.
So, that's cool.
Yep.
Hey, I think that's, it's an honorable thing.
Sure.
Anyway, enough of that. Let me dive into the first track, The Queen's Dead.
Start it up. Yep.
Starts out with an old, British recording.
A female's voice. Right?
A female's voice.
Mm-hmm.
And hang on a second. We're going to look it up right now.
I actually looked it up. You want me to read what I got?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
All right. So I was like, all right, what is that intro? Because it's just a dialogue into a song,
Mm-hmm.
but it seems like it's an old, I don't know what you would call it, but it's
like not a standard, but like I don't know.
Like
a traditional song.
Something a group of tenement people would be singing together.
Okay.
In the alleyway or something.
Okay. Take me back to dear old Blighty.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Put me on the train for London town.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and she, the other people in the song are described as this female voice is joined by some drunk sounding revelers. They sing a jaunty song that begins, and then what we just said.
That's hilarious.
So, yeah, I don't know what would make a band want to do that. That has to be something personal to them,
Yeah, I'm sure.
Maybe an inside joke or something.
It could be, or it could, maybe it's something like a traditional song,
Mm-hmm.
in England that we, don't have in our culture. Like here, it would be you open up an album with like a traditional, like old school song that was kind of more out of the U.S.
Or maybe like Hendrix's version of the Star Spangled Banner or something.
Sure. Is Auld Lang Syne only the U.S. or?
What's that?
Is Auld Lang Syne only the U.S. or is that also popular around the world? I don't even know.
I don't know.
Do they sing that around the world on New Year's Eve?
I have no clue.
It's not important. All right, I gotta stop saying too. It's a little ridiculous. Right. This is early days.
Hey, this is episode 1, everybody. So bear with us.
Yeah, we're gonna get on the right track. Don't worry about it. So okay. I'm not worried. Anyway, Queen's Dead kicks in. Great song. Goes. That's what I'm going to say for every song. But it's about unrest in England, and it's kind of a shot at the royal family for, I guess, affairs that were going on then. I think that you could have any song on this album open the album. So yeah, I could sit here and say it's a great opener, but
I would say I would agree with you on that. Definitely,
you really could have any track open it, but this one's as good as any other ones.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
Frankly, Mr. Shankly, this is everybody's. If you're unhappy, with an organization or your job or something like that, this is the song for you, because it's everything that you want to say when you're signing out, because you got something better, Oh,
so wait, we're on to the second song already?
Yeah, sorry.
I didn't get to, give you my
go back. Let's go back.
Review.
We'll fix it.
My review of song 1.
We'll fix it in post.
Nah, we'll just leave it. All right. So immediately for me, this song puts me right into an 80s movie.
Yeah.
And I see Molly Ringwald walking towards me.
Yep.
which isn't a bad thing. I love Molly Ringwald. And it could be in any John Hughes movie of the 80s.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's got that you know, hard charging, great drum intro.
Yeah.
The drumming in the intro is awesome. And there's so many comparisons all over the album for me. But for this song, it reminds me of like a cross between Duran Duran and Tears for Fears. I don't know if
Nice.
that resonates with you.
Nice.
And this is going to surprise you. It faintly reminds me of some elements of the Stone Temple Pilots.
Okay.
There was the guitar tone and playing alone. It's got, you know, there are a lot of Stone Temple Pilots songs that it just sounded familiar to me.
Okay.
And there's the vocal melody line coming out of the chorus. It just reminded me of something that Scott Weiland would do. So.
All right. So I'll probably see it once I put on some STP. I'll probably say, holy shit, this is exactly what he was talking about. But I mean, you said it. They have brightened the day or darkened the day of so many of the current bands. And, you know, especially bands like STP, who's kind of around the age where they were like coming of age when the Smiths were around, you know, where they're obviously not around anymore. That's a whole other situation.
Before Stone Temple Pilots formed, the guitarist and the bass player who are brothers, right? Dean and what's his brother's name? Rob
DeLeo, yeah.
Yeah, and you know they were playing covers at the Jersey Shore. You know, they were in cover bands.
Oh, is that right?
So I don't know. I could, if I remember correctly, I think they were covering these types of bands.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah, you know.
All right.
So, hey, could be, you know, could be.
Could be. I wouldn't mind hearing them cover the Smiths.
All right. Frankly, Mr. Shankly.
Oh, it's so great.
Super quirky song.
Yeah.
You know, the style, you know, and the sound of it reminds me a lot of Colin Hay. Colin Hay from the band Men at Work. Great solo artist, Colin Hay. Amazing solo artist.
Yeah, absolutely.
And great songwriter. But the quirkiness of this song, it just, and the way Morrissey was singing, it reminded me so much of Colin Hay. Not my favorite song, but it grew on me, you know, like I was telling you as I kept listening to this album.
I liked this song as a kid because I didn't know what it knocked my headphone out. I liked it as a kid, but I didn't really understand what it was about. I just thought it was a fun, bouncy, you know, tune. Had some easy rhymes in it or whatever. And he says, flatulent pain in the ass. Sorry. You know, things that a kid would laugh at, like when he says, you're a flatulent pain in the ass. But when you get older and you realize what it's about, it's kind of I've had enough of this shit. I found something else. And fuck you, because, you know, I'm moving on. And it was about a record executive that they worked with. And
was his name
Yeah.
Was his name Mr. Shankly?
No, I don't think his name was Mr. Shankly. I think that's just the
pseudonym.
That's just that's a pseudonym.
Okay.
I believe. But that's actually a good question. It's well, whatever. Let's go on to the next song, because this is.
Okay. I know it's over.
This is like the one. This is really just a great song. So many quotable lines in this one too.
Lyrically, it definitely. I have a lot of comparisons with this song. I know it's over, right? That's the name of the song. it reminds me a lot of Last Kiss by Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
You know, it just has that that 50s kind of style.
Definitely, I know exactly what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was going to say, it could be in a prom scene in an 80s movie, or a dance, like a slow dance scene in a 50s like time period movie.
No doubt.
You know? And I love the vocal melody line in the chorus.
Yeah, he's got such a great voice.
And you know, it's funny. It reminds me of that song. Do you remember the movie Chasing Amy?
Of course.
Kevin Smith movie. There's a song that Joey Lauren Adams, who plays Alyssa Jones.
I know it. I know exactly what you're talking about.
She wrote the song and sang it in the bar.
She wrote that?
She wrote that song.
Oh,
it was uncredited, and she actually, you know, she wrote the song and she sings that to Holden in the movie, and it you know, I guess it might be the tempo.
She doesn't sing it to Holden. She sings it to her girlfriend.
Holden thinks she's singing it to him. That's right. Yep. But cool song. And you know, this is the third song in, and not one song has sounded alike yet.
Oh,
so
yeah.
There's a ton of diversity so far on this album. So what do you got for I know it's over, Tom?
What do I got for that? I can, you know, Mother, I Can Feel the Soil Falling on My Head is just so morbid and awesome. This is a real example of his dramatics. Okay. And his just melancholy dramatics.
Definitely theatrical.
It's great. He just is always. The thing about Morrissey is, once you understand him, like it's almost satire for the miserable.
Right. That's a great way. That's a great way to put it.
He's so great at playing the victim. And I mean, he probably is, you know, in some of these situations, but, you know, the emotion and the way he kind of makes you feel like he's in pain all the time, just with any simple line, even in a song like, frankly, Mr. Shankly, but in, I Know It's Over. And in the next song also, Never Had No One Ever. Is kind of like that. Did you like that one too, or no?
I'm probably going to get shanked for this one.
Oh boy!
For what, you know, my the comparison I'm going to give it. I didn't really care for the song, but what it did sound like, and listen, I don't like the song that I think it sounds like either. So. The song, I was going to say, it sounds like a less cheesy version of the song "Into the Night" by Benny Mardones.
My God!
Remember that song?
Wow! Yeah, of course I do. I love that song.
Do you really?
Yeah, me and Keith used to cover it.
So, I mean, do you agree with me on the comparison, or something?
I would have never thought of that. I would have never thought of that, but now it makes sense.
There might be it might be the melancholy delivery, some kind of melancholy something in the song.
When you walk around. Yeah.
So I don't know. That's what I get from it.
Oh, it's funny.
Not one of my favorites, but
Morrissey would tell you to fuck yourself. Have you ever heard?
Hey, maybe Morrissey, you know, inspired Benny Mardones.
That could be. That could be. It's a rough song to release, though.
Yeah.
You know, she's just 16 years old. Leave her alone, they say. Is not. That's a Me Too moment if I ever heard one.
Yeah, that's
horrible. All right,
but the next song, forward. One of my favorites on the record, Cemetery Gates.
Love
definitely
it.
One of my favorites.
Love
it. The acoustic intro. With that bass line, a great bass line in the intro, 100% reminds me of the band The Sundays. Do you know the Sundays?
I don't. And you said that earlier. I spoke to you, and you said the
Tom.
Sundays, and I said, "Who are the Sundays?" It sounds so familiar.
The Sundays were a Cranberries type band
Looking them up now.
in the early '90s. Harriet Wheeler has probably the most beautiful voice I've ever heard in my life.
Really?
They put out only 3 albums, and they haven't been heard from in about 20, 25 years. And every album is amazing. There's a lot of ballads. You got to be into that, acoustic kind of,
Apparently, they did a really good cover of Wild Horses. That was
amazing.
Yeah.
It was in the movie Fear with Mark Wahlberg.
And it was also in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the series.
the roller coaster scene in Fear. When Mark Wahlberg is with Reese Witherspoon, and
nice.
He's
nice.
Plucking the old banjo.
All right. Cemetery Gates, A Dreaded Sunny Day. I mean, it's not a happy song, but it's an upbeat song. But here's Morrissey, A Dreaded Sunny Day as well. Meet you at the Cemetery Gates, and then he makes mention of Keats and Yeats and Oscar Wilde, and it's just like it's such a solid like single. This is the song that you kind of want to market. It's just nobody dislikes this song when they hear it.
Yeah,
it's such an up tempo, catchy, like hook number. It doesn't matter even what he's saying.
It is a really good song.
Yeah, it just sticks with you. Anyway, one of my favorites. I'll probably listen to all of it again after this is done.
Yep. Me too.
My most played artist over the last 2 years on Spotify is The Smiths, and then Fish, and then Morrissey, I believe, is in the top 3 or 4.
Nice.
All right, let's jump ahead to Big Mouth Strikes Again.
Big Mouth Strikes Again. And
is the guitar
do you remember? Yeah, do you remember what I mentioned?
Yeah, you said it sounded like Tenacious D.
Tenacious D. A little
I think
bit.
they'd be thrilled to hear that. Tenacious D.
Yeah. It's this song. For me, it is a classic '80s song sound.
Oh man, is it ever? This is a popular one though.
With some like dark undertones, like I don't know what makes me hear it that way, but the intro definitely, like I said, reminded me of Tenacious D, with the acoustic, the almost flamenco style. Music in the beginning, and but more so, it definitely reminds me of The Cure.
Yeah,
I hear a lot of The Cure in that.
Well, I can see that, and
great job.
They did come up at the same time, somewhat. So you're going to see a lot of some,
aren't they?
A little bit, but not that much. Not that much. I mean, it's mid '80s. Cure was mid '80s for sure.
Yeah.
And you can see so many similarities between the two. And I don't know if the Smiths purists like to hear things like that.
Sure.
But what are you going to do?
No. But great drumming and guitar in that song.
For sure. Yeah.
That really caught my attention. So. And,
all right.
Let's move on.
It's a great one. Next one is, this is what you said your favorite track was, right?
Yeah, another favorite for sure.
This is a great one. The vocals are unmatched in this tune.
Beautiful.
Just gorgeous. Yeah.
The Boy with the Thorn in His Side.
Unreal.
Again, sounds a lot like a combo of the Sundays and the Cranberries. I threw in there as well, combined. But more like a Cranberries song as it gets moving. Like I could picture the Cranberries, writing a song like this.
So from Morrissey, Margie Clark asked she was like a radio host, and she asked Morrissey if this song was inspired by Oscar Wilde, and he said, "No, that's not true. The thorn is the music industry, and all those people who never believed anything I said tried to get rid of me and wouldn't play the records."
So he's the boy.
So I think, yeah. So I think we've reached a stage where we feel if they don't believe me now, will they ever believe me? What more can a poor boy do? So you might listen to that in a new light tonight.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm not sure why. Tell me if this description sounds accurate. I would describe this song as a thoughtful song. Right? It's okay. I don't know. It's something that because it's upbeat, but it's, I don't know. It's very it's very melodic, I would say.
There's a couple of versions of this song. Some people, I mean, I gotta say that some people on the internet are unbelievable. If you go on YouTube and type in a cover version of this song, some people have done it. There's two guys. And what I remember about the video is one of the guys is just wearing a bright pink shirt. The two of them do this song, and the harmonies on it are unbelievable. It's the only people I've seen do it like to the level of, wow, that's almost as good as the original. You know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Check it out. We can tweet that out.
I love when that happens.
Yeah.
I love when you find stuff like that. But I also think that it has a very British European sound to it.
Yeah.
You know?
I understand that.
So, great song. Definitely a favorite.
VICAR and a TUTU.
This is
it's a goofy song, right?
Very another quirky song for sure. Yeah, but I really like it. It grew on me. Yeah. You know, I've listened to this record maybe 7 or 8 times. Mm-hmm. And those are the first 7 or 8 times I've ever listened to this record, you know, to this album. So
you've never heard any of these songs before?
I never have. I to be honest with you, I'm sure.
Not even like the next one. There's a light that never goes out. You never heard that?
No.
That's a popular one.
But this VICAR and a TUTU, it reminds me, and I don't know if you know this band either, but it reminds me so much of the band The Bogmen.
Yeah, I've heard of them. I think from you.
Yeah.
Are they from Long Island?
I think so. And I love the Bogmen. I love the Bogmen. There's this consistent rhythm and tempo. It's I forgot the name of the song that the Bogmen put out. That it reminded me so much of this. But yeah, it's a cool song. You know, the vocals and the vocal delivery are what make it stand out as a Bogmen influence.
Well, what I think stands out the most in this song is that wicked bass line. And it's almost like a ska tune. It's kind of got that boom, bap, boom, bap, boom, bap, like that ska beat where everything's upbeat.
Yep.
Anyway, I mean, you know, not much really to say about it other than it's a fun song. It's kind of goofy and folky, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely.
The next song I think is like this is the centerpiece. You know, even though it's not, you know, in the middle of the album, this is the one that pretty much defines everything Morrissey is presenting. You know.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you. I mean, this is a great one.
There is a light. There is a light that never goes out.
Oh, so good.
Good. I mean, you know, I have. It's another good song. It's definitely it's another one that has a great classic '80s movie song sound. Like I could picture it in a movie for sure.
Yeah. Take me out.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Definitely reminds me a lot of The Cure. And I like it. You know.
Yeah, it's just another kind of like I'm, you know, in my own need, but please come rescue me. You know, and it's just about somebody kind of dreaming about just being alone and kind of wanting to be part of something. whether it's social or just as a, passerby or something. And, we're in a, when you do that, when you do get me out of this funk, at that moment, I'm fine if a bus crushes us.
Right.
Because I'll go out, at least with some sort of fulfillment in my heart. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yep.
So that's the message behind this song. I hope, but it's just a great one. Let's go on to the last track.
Some girls are bigger than others.
Yeah.
another one I can see.
That's true, actually.
Oh, that's inevitable, isn't it? I mean, it goes for men as well.
Yeah.
But this is another song that it, I could see being in a movie. It has that feel to it. And it's another song that reminds me of Colin Hay, but more specifically Men at Work. It's definitely has a Men at Work kind of vibe to it. The lyrics in the chorus are hilarious to me. Some girls are bigger than others. Some girls are bigger than others. Some girls' mothers are bigger than other girls' mothers.
I love it.
And the way he sings it, the delivery is really funny.
It's just another Morrissey and Johnny Marr team of just fuck you.
Right.
This is what we.
Yeah. No, great song. It's another favorite. Off the record.
What would you say is your favorite? You're sticking with.
All right, so my favorite on this album would definitely be The Boy with the Thorn in His Side.
Love it, and that's not going to be my number one pick. I can't.
What you got?
I mean, I can't discount any song on this album. But
you got to pick one though. Got to do it.
I do have to pick one, and I'm going to pick the one that kind of gives me the most fulfillment, and it's There's a Light That Never Goes Out. It's a perfect song.
So number 9 on the track.
Number 9 for me is As Good as It Gets.
Sounds great, man.
I'm not even going to provide a runner-up because they're all tied for second.
Okay. No, it sounds great. I'm glad you introduced this record to me.
No doubt.
When I first listened to it, I was it was a little mixed on it, and then as I kept listening, it definitely grew on me, and I think it's a matter of hearing possible influences of other bands that I like listening to.
I like that aspect of it, is that you can relate it to stuff that other stuff that you kind of is more in your repertoire. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, oh, okay, I do hear elements of this, and I hear elements of that.
But I'll tell you, when I did, because I was listening straight through, and when you get, to after the last song, if you don't hit stop, it goes into radio play, based on this album.
Sure.
So I did hear a lot of other Smith songs that I enjoyed.
Probably some Morrissey solo tunes also.
Maybe, yeah. And I really like them. So I'm definitely going to be diving into, a little deeper.
Oh, yeah. I have some recs. I'll give you off air.
Thanks, Tom.
No problem, dude.
I appreciate it. What you got? Anything to finish us out here, Tom?
I give this album a 9.8 on a scale of 9.8. And,
where's that scale from?
I got a discount on it.
Okay.
So it only goes up to 9.8.
Awesome.
But listen, I had a lot of fun. This is a great thing. So
guys, as a new listener myself, I would definitely recommend that you check out the Smiths album, The Queen is Dead, and if you let us know what you think. So thanks so much for listening, and definitely check out this album. Like I just mentioned, let us know what you think. If you have any questions, comments, or requests, please leave them below in the comments. Or if you want to reach out to us personally, you can reach out to our email at fortherecord.thepodcast gmail.com. And if you're listening on YouTube, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And make sure you click on the bell so you can be notified about future episodes. There's so much more to come. And thanks again, guys. And
Peace.
We'll see you for episode 2 coming up.
See ya.